Hey, what is going on everybody? My name is Marin TM and welcome back to yet another Marin Mass video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some movement techniques that I personally use a lot and I find these very effective. So without further ado, let's get started. The first one is when you're in a box and you gotta get out. What I like to do is I like to edit out on the side and jump out, do a nice little cheeky side jump and get up over the opponent. Then again, if he comes back at you, you can do the same strategy, but I wouldn't really repeat the same strategy too many times because then it's gonna be obvious. This will allow you to get free high ground most of the time and he will be like, where did it go? Because you're gonna be one layer above him. And I just think this is a great technique. So with that said, let's move over to the next very technique. Next up, we got the double side jumps, and this is a trick that you just gotta practice until you get it down. In my very opinion, this is one of the most effective ways to gain high ground, especially in endgame. Recently, I've just been popping this baby out in endgame and getting high ground, and the opponents are like, ooh, what is this guy doing? And I just think this is an amazing move. It's so smooth, it's so slick, and it's not really a necessity, but I just think that it spices up the gameplay a lot. And if you can pull this off consistently, as said, it's going to help you a lot in the long run. I know that a lot of players do not know how to do this because it is a somewhat difficult move, but if you have the spare time and want to be unique, learning this is definitely a go-to, and this is by far my favorite movement technique in Fortnite. And as said, it's not really a necessity, but it can definitely help you out in a few situations. Next one, we have a trick that I am super bad at and still learning, but I think this one is worth sharing. So if someone comes down and wants to box fight you, what you can do is you can actually cone them from inside your box without taking any unnecessary risks, as shown in the video. I think this trick is just so unique and so cool, and if you can pull it off consistently, you're gonna be nuts at the game. Using traps is very underrated, and if you are good at using traps, you will win a lot of competitive fights, and that's why I included this one. As said, I am far from perfect at doing this, but I just think it's a really cool way to trap your opponent, and it's really risk-free if you can do it perfectly. So yeah, test this out if you want to. Not really a movement trick, but nevertheless, very unique and very cool. Next up, we got a super effective one, especially for duos, trios, squads. Of course, you can do this in solos, but it's not very mat efficient. But this way of pathing is just so clean, especially if you gotta go up a few layers. This is not a way to take high ground by any means, but doing this for your squad will allow them to go through a perfect path, and this is definitely a necessity in my book. This trick may look somewhat hard, but trust me, after a few minutes in creative, you've got this, everybody. It is super easy, and it's all really about a few minutes of practice, and you got it. So with that said, let's take a look at tip number 5. So for number 5, I actually have an in-game example. I really just wiped my HDD right before making this video, so that was kind of dumb. But luckily, I actually had a little bit of an extra folder laying in my HDD that I didn't notice, so I actually had an in-game example of this. This is very easy, yet very effective, and that's why I included it at the number 5 spot for this video. So with that said, take a look at this in-game example and how effective it is. It is from the DreamHack Winter 2019 official tournament. It was really stacked, a ton of pros, and it worked just perfectly. Have a look at this. Alrighty boys, that is about it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed making it, and this is just a little bonus clip that I just think is insane. If you can pull this off in games, you're just like, you're nuts. But thank you so much once again for sticking through this video, and you know, I'll be back tomorrow with a new one. So with that said, everyone, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.